Taking a quick look at these new Coleman Voyager power stations. So this is, Coleman just came out with this whole lineup of power stations. As you can see, the size and the capacities and stuff like that, they vary a lot. Now the big three units there, they all appear to share the same case, but different size batteries. And then a couple of small units there. And then they also have that expansion battery available as well. Now that expansion battery is only the 1,000 watt hours, but you can use it with the three biggest models there. So they're kind of, trying to make something for everyone here. And this is really interesting too, coming from Coleman. This is not a company that's known for making power stations. Now, as you can imagine though, since they're just jumping into this market, these units, they're not going to be at the top of the class, right? I mean, actually, they have pretty good specs, but it's just, it's not quite where the newest models from like Anchor and EcoFlow and even Jackery now are at, right? I mean, it's good, but it's not great. So as I mentioned, there's a ton of different size models here. This is the biggest one. This is the top dog. And so we get almost 1,500 watt hours. Now the inverter is only 1,200 watts, but as I mentioned in a lot of my videos, if you get the right appliances, you can still do a lot with that. Now the reason they've kind of done the 1,200 watt inverter is because the smaller batteries, they also get that 1,200 watt inverter. And now for the charging, it's, pretty decent, even on this 1,500 watt hour model. The 1,000 watt hour model has all the same inputs and stuff like that. So it'd be even better, basically. But yeah, for the solar, we do get the Anderson port, so that's just, good. I like to see Anderson port. And then, yeah, they're just using the standard wall cord, for the AC, for the wall charge. And if you want to know the specs, you just take a look at the backside of the unit, and they got it all listed right there, so you can refer back to that. Now, the AC input, they do mention 700 watts / 1,300 watts. I think that's actually because the ones with the smaller battery will do the 700 watts. I don't think it's like a slow and fast charge setting, but I could be wrong. It could be wrong. And then, there's that inverter, 1,200 watts, yes. But for the solar, right there, MPPT, 400 watt max. Now, the disappointing thing, 13 to 30 volts. So nothing special there. You're going to always have to hook, up your solar panels up in parallel. But the thing is, since they're using an Anderson port, I mean, Andersons, they can take a huge amount of amps, right? Now, they don't actually state, how many amps. So, hopefully it's a decent number. And then there's that extra battery port. Now, as I mentioned, there's only one extra battery. There's only one size. Now, as you can see, it is small, though. It is pretty small. And in fact, these units themselves are pretty small, and lightweight is the big thing. 28 pounds for this 1,500 watt hour model, right? So lightweight and portable, yes. Now, why is that? Of course, NMC, right? That's why. Now, a lot of people are probably just going to stop the video right here, right? But as I've talked about, NMC power stations, they have a lot of advantages. The life cycle issue, I've talked about this, it's kind of overblown. 1,000 life cycles, 80% of capacity. That's the 80% of capacity, that's not till it dies, right? And those are full charge cycles, right? Usually at a high C rate as well. Stuff you're never going to be doing, unless you're using a power station for like dedicated off-grid power. And we do get a UPS feature, and what's really interesting about this, they show in the video here, that in order to enable the UPS feature, you actually have to press and hold that AC button, right? So normally you just press it, turn on the inverter. But if you actually want the UPS feature to activate, you press and hold that. So that's interesting. I've never actually seen that. Usually it's just an automatic thing, because whenever you have the unit hooked up to the wall, it's going to charge. It's going to want to charge, right? And this is not the greatest thing, because if you're using a power station for UPS and you don't have a power station that has that app feature, it's going to charge it all the way up to 100%, right? And then it's just going to sit there at 100%. And this is something that you definitely don't want to do. Even with LFP batteries, you don't want to have them sit at 100%. So to me, what it looks like with this feature is that if you actually do this correct sequence here where you press and hold the button to actually activate this UPS feature, it's not going to charge, in other words, so you can have it as they show there. And 67% is actually a great number to kind of leave these power stations kind of sitting. If you're going to just be using this constantly as a UPS, you want to just leave the battery at 67%. That's great for longevity for the battery, and then you can do whatever you want to do, and it's not going to actually try to keep charging the battery. And just to talk about the design here real quick, this is interesting. They've kind of gone the route where it looks like they were inspired by some of their like plastic coolers and stuff like that, right? In fact, I tried to, actually this is interesting. I tried to find some of those coolers because I could have sworn they were known for making these kind of, you know, white and red coolers. And all the coolers I found were like blue and white and stuff like that. So I don't know, I don't know if I'm just losing my mind here or if this is one of those Mandela effect things. So they have gone with that white and red color scheme, and that, you know, I'm not the biggest fan of that and big bright colors. I think it would have just looked better if it would have just done the white and blue. But you know, it is what it is. But the thing I do kind of like is the white on the front. So, you know, there it is. I just kind of threw it in the Photoshop so we can get an idea of what it would have looked like if it was blue. It would have just looked much better. And I do kind of like that modern, clean design that the white front brings to it. Now, the disappointing part is we do get the handle just kind of stuck on top there, so no flat top. Obviously, no wireless charger or anything with that. The screen I do like, you know, all the numbers are very small, so that's kind of a downside. But I do really like how it has the countdown timer, you know, there for the time remaining, or the time remaining. It's kind of got that nice, cool little block there, right? I mean, it's just like, it really highlights, it really kind of shows you right there. It's not just a number kind of stuck on the screen. And one thing I do really like to see, especially since we're talking about NMC batteries, on both sides of the unit, we get these dual large fans. So this is, you know, gonna definitely keep this unit cool, and again, extend the lifetime of those NMC batteries. Yeah, so just a quick overview of this Coleman Voyager Pro 1500. And hopefully you just kind of found this video helpful or interesting. And yeah, thanks for watching.